Hey, what's up you guys, it's Connor, and today we're going to be doing a bit of a book haul. It's been a very long time since I've filmed. It's been, I don't know, maybe a year. Since the last time I made a video, you can hear Nook panting in the background. We moved, so it's been nice to have all of my books in one place. Since my absence, I have not stopped getting books. I'm going to be catching up and showing you guys all the books that I've got since the last time I did a book haul, which was like a year ago. It's not too many, it's not too many. First up is a book that I didn't buy technically for me, but I'm still gonna give it a go, and that is Manatee Summer by Evan Griffith. It's a middle grade book. It follows a character named Peter, and he and his best friend have been going around and trying to catalog as many like critters and wildlife in Florida that they can find. At the beginning of the book, I believe he meets a manatee, and then it follows Peter during the course of this summer where he's taking care of his father who has Alzheimer's. The manatee gets hurt, so he's trying to help with the manatee, and also he's on the fritz, I think, with his best friend. So lots of stuff going on during this one summer. I'm gonna read it and I'll let you guys know what I think. Next up is an arc I got. I don't know when this book came out, November of 2022, but I haven't picked it up yet and I haven't read it yet. That is The Illuminaries by Susan Dennard. I have read 4 of the books in the Witchland series. The first book being Truth Witch, and I've really enjoyed them, so I wanted to check out The Illuminaries when the publisher reached out and asked if I wanted a copy. This one follows a character named Winnie. At the beginning of the book, you find out that she is an exile from the Illuminaries, who are the group of guardians tasked with protecting people from these evil things that are coming out of the forest. She wants to compete in this competition when she turns 16, but there are other things that are happening. They discover a danger lurking in the forest no one in Hemlock Falls is prepared for. Dun dun dun! I'm gonna read it and I'll let you guys know what I think about it. After that, I picked up Torco, Volume 3, which was given to me by my brother-in-law and my sister. This is a food competition shonen manga series that my brother thinks that I'll really enjoy. I haven't picked up the first volume yet, but now I have the first 3 volumes. I was also sent The Princess Will Save You by Sarah Henning, The Kingdoms of Sand and Sky, Book 1. This one follows a character named Amarande, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she is the princess of this kingdom. Her father dies, and basically she's given an ultimatum to marry someone from a neighboring kingdom or lose her crown and possibly her life. The love of her life, which is the stable boy, is kidnapped, and I think she goes on a journey trying to save him. I'll let you guys know. I picked up For Real by Alexis Hall. I've been reading a lot of his works. The first one I read by him was Boyfriend Material, and then there's Husband Material, and I've read a couple of other books that are set in this series. The world that all of these are written in is called The Spires, and one of the first ones I read was Waiting for the Flood to Come, and I really enjoyed that, so I wanted to continue along. This one, I think, is a little more sex-driven, I guess. This one has more sex scenes in it, I think, than some of the other books by him, based off the cover. So I will let you guys know what I think when I get to it. I also picked up So This Is Ever After by F.T. Lukens. I read, what is that other one called? In Deeper Water last year and really enjoyed it. So when I saw this one was on sale, I picked it up. This one follows a character named Arik, A-R-E-K, don't know how that's pronounced. But at the beginning of the book, he has already defeated the big evil, like the evil king of this world. His friend, Matt, convinces him to sit on the throne until the heir of the kingdom can be rescued. Turns out she's dead, so now he's stuck being king, and for some reason, he has to find someone to marry, potentially before he turns 18. I'm not sure on that. You follow him as he's trying to find a spouse, and I'm sure it's just gonna be a funny romp of him making a fool of himself, and I'm ready for it. I think for my birthday or for Christmas or something like that, I was given The Golden Enclaves by Naomi Novik. This is the 3rd book in the Scholomance series, which follows a character named Galadriel. At the beginning of the first book, you find out that she has been in the Scholomance, which is a school that's in like a pocket dimension. All the people that can find a place at the school are sent to this school because growing up in the regular world is way more dangerous. So they're all sent to this school that teaches them how to protect themselves from these demon creatures. But the only catch is that the school is incredibly dangerous because demons have infiltrated the school. So you can die while you're at school, and the worst day of all of school is graduation day because you have to make it through these incredibly powerful demons. It's just a fun time. Galadriel has been unable to find any allies in this school because she hasn't been able to really showcase her powers. She has magic that is basically apocalyptic magic, really, really strong magic that tends to be very destructive. And because of that, she doesn't have any use for those spells in the setting that she's in. So she doesn't have any friends, and she's desperately trying to figure out how she's going to survive, because to get out of the school, you have to have a bit of a team to get past all the demons. So in the first book, you're following her as she's trying to figure out how she's going to survive. In this one, we're continuing the story surrounding the Scholomance and the outer world, and I've actually already read this one, so I will be including it in a future wrap-up, and I'll let you guys know what I thought. Another book that I've already finished reading, but I haven't hauled it yet, is The Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. This one follows a character. Her name is Shiori, and at the beginning of the book, you find out that she is the only daughter and princess of this kingdom. She has 6 older brothers. Also, at the beginning of the book, her stepmother curses them, turns her 6 brothers into cranes, and like banishes her. And she also has a bucket stuck on, no, she has a bowl stuck on her head, and she can never take the bowl off. The catch also is that she can't speak, because if she speaks, one of her brothers will die. So she has to figure out how to remove these curses, save her brothers from being cranes, all while being completely silent and never speaking. Again, I've already read this one, so I will be including it in a future wrap-up, but I really enjoyed it, so I'm going to be continuing along at some point. The next book I picked up is The Amulet of Samarkand by Jonathan Stroud. This is the first book in the Bartimaeus trilogy. I've been eyeing this series for a while, and I think I read 2 books by Jonathan Stroud before. Is he the one that wrote Lockwood and Company? They recently made an adaptation of it on Netflix. I think it was on Netflix. So I wanted to pick up some other stuff by him. This one follows a character named Nathaniel. Nathaniel is an 11-year-old magician, and one day he is completely humiliated by another magician. So he decides he's going to teach himself advanced magics. He ends up summoning Bartimaeus, which is a some thousand-year-old genie, and now he has to deal with the repercussions of doing that, because a 6,000-year-old genie is hard to control. 5,000-year-old, sorry. And I'm looking forward to seeing how all that plays out. A book that I've also picked up and read is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This was actually the House Salt Book Club pick for June, and I will leave a link up in the card symbol and down below if you want to check it out. This one follows a character named Araya. At the beginning of the book, you see her basically adopted by the king of the vampires for whatever reason, and then it has a time jump, and basically she has been training her whole life to defend herself from vampires, because vampires don't really like humans all that much, but they need them obviously for food. Her adopted father doesn't want to turn her into a vampire because it's pretty risky, so instead she has to compete in this very, very dangerous, deadly competition where if she were to win, she gets one wish from the vampire goddess. So basically you're just following her as she's competing in this competition. You start to meet some of the other competitors and learn more about them. There's a bit of a romance that happens. So all the things. I had never heard of this book before it was chosen for book club, but it is extremely popular currently, apparently, I don't know. But it's really popular with people that are fans of Sarah J. Maas, and apparently the parallels are there. I haven't read A Court of Thorns and Roses, but people say that if you like that book, you'll like this book. I don't know. I read it, I liked it, it was fine, but I don't know if I'll continue. This is not a wrap-up, so moving on. Next, I picked up Ducking Ugly by Neil Shusterman. If you guys don't know, I am a huge Neil Shusterman fan. I have read a lot of books by him. He's one of my favorite young adult novelists, and this is one of his older works. This one follows a character, I don't know actually. Let me take the wrapping off. I don't know why it's wrapped. This one follows a character named Kara at the beginning of the book, you find out that she is incredibly ugly, and mirrors will break rather than show her reflection. During the course of the book, she is having these dreams, and after someone betrays her, she goes off to find her destiny, and she finds out that the world that she's dreamt up is real, and ugly ducklings can become swans, and there's some revenge stuff that's happening as well. I'll read it and let you guys know, but I'm really excited to add this one to my collection. I have a lot of Neil Shusterman books to get to and review, but that will be coming at some point. I was also given a copy of Sabrel by Garth Nix. This is like an old library copy. Don't know why the library was getting rid of it, but their loss is my gain. This one follows a character named Sabrel. At the beginning of the book, you find out she is the court mage's daughter. His name is Aborson, and at the beginning of the book, Aborson goes missing, and Sabrel goes on a journey / mission to try to save her father. I've heard really good things about this one. I've actually read quite a few books by Garth Nix before. I've liked most of them fine enough, so hopefully I really like this one. This is probably one of his most popular books. I'll let you guys know. I also picked up the 6th and final book in the Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians series by Brandon Sanderson. This one is called Bastille versus the Evil Librarians. This one is co-authored by Jancy Patterson. If you guys don't know, I have really enjoyed the Alcatraz series thus far. The 5th book is the last book told in Alcatraz's perspective, and when I finished that 5th book, I was so upset thinking that it was going to be the last book in the series, and then I found out when the finished copy was released that there was an epilogue that wasn't included in the arc. All is good in the world. Now I finally have the last book, and I'm really excited to see how the series is going to wrap up. I also really like in this series that the author has one of the characters, well, I guess the authors now, have one of the characters use other authors' last names as curse words. For example, at one point, the guy is like, gambling gamins, to be like, darn it. So I really like those. At some point I might go back and reread the series and pull out all those authors' names and make that a bit of a project, but that is for future Connor, not for right now. I'll let you guys know what I think when I finish this one. Another book club book that I picked up is Babble by R.F. Kuang. I missed this live show and didn't read the book, so on my shelf it will go. At some point, I'll probably give it a go. I read The Poppy War and didn't really enjoy it that much. I liked it, but I didn't love it like everyone else. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this book. It's a chunky one, so it might be put on the back burner for a bit, but if you've read it and you love it, let me know what your thoughts were, because maybe I'll push it up on my TBR. The next book, for some reason, is in plastic wrap. That is A Marvelous Light by Freya Marsky? I don't know. This one follows a character named Robin. At the beginning of the book, I guess he is accidentally assigned to be the liaison to the magical world. You follow him as he is trying to figure out this new position. And I think there's a bit of an MM romance that happens. Other than that, I don't know much. If you've read this book, it was popular a little while back. So if you've read it, let me know what your thoughts were. Let me try to speed this up. The next book I picked up is Nature's Best Hope by Douglas W. Tallamy. I have been getting more and more into gardening as I'm getting older, which is apparently a thing that a lot of millennials are doing. Doug Tallamy is one of the nation's leading spokespeople for the environment. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos where he's a guest speaker in them, and so I'm curious to see what some of his work is like. There's another book by him in here. Let me just pull it up. I also picked up The Nature of Oaks by him. This one I think is more recent, and I feel like I have a better idea what is contained in this one. All the talks I've seen him do, he's talking about keystone species and how many other species they allow to survive and keep going. For instance, oaks apparently are some of the best keystone species in the United States. It's basically like plant more oaks so that we can have more caterpillars and more Lepidoptera in general, so that we can have more birds and just more environment. So looking forward to reading these two. I'll let you guys know what I think when I do, but yeah, save the environment. Next I picked up Sufficiently Advanced Magic by Andrew Rowe. This is a self-published high fantasy, I think it's high fantasy, novel. It is way bigger than I thought it was going to be. I saw Kitty G, I'll leave a link down in the description to her channel, read this book years ago and really enjoy it. And since then, I've seen a couple of other people pick it up and really enjoy it. So I wanted to give it a shot and see if I enjoy it just as much. This one follows a character named Corin, and he decides that he's going to try to get an attunement. And to do that, he needs to enter into this tower, and you have to get to the top level to get that, and every level has its own challenges and dangers, and someone he knows, his brother had tried and never came back, so apparently it's very dangerous. I'll let you guys know what I think. Next, I picked up Moonflower by Case and Calendar. I've read Felix Ever After, King and the Dragonflies, and this is kind of an epic love story, and really enjoyed all 3 of those, so I want to continue on and read more of their works. This one follows a character named Moon. At the beginning of the book, you find out that Moon is incredibly depressed, and Moon's only escape is to go to the spirit realm. So Moon and Wolf, Moon's best friend, is it a dog? I don't know. It might just be a person, have to go to the spirit realm and save the day. As I've really enjoyed most of the stuff I've read by Case and Calendar, I'm sure I'm really going to enjoy this as well, so hopefully I do. I also picked up A Little Bit Country by Brian D. Kennedy. I've been reading more and more romance over the years. Ever since 2020 and the pandemic, I've opened myself up to the world of romance. This one I think is just going to be like small town, country, rom-com, and that's all I want it to be. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. Next I picked up Bob Becomes an Agent by PJ Cruz. PJ Cruz is a friend of mine that I've known since undergrad. So when he published a book, I was like, of course, I've got to pick it up and try it. This one follows a character named Bob. Bob is pursuing acting, and at the beginning of the book, he accidentally gets himself involved with, like, a spy investigation, like a real one, and so he's just trying to navigate all those waters. From my conversations with PJ, it's like a very funny, like, jokes on every page kind of story, and I'm looking forward to checking it out. Next, I picked up Children of Ragnarok, the first book in the Runestone saga by Cinda Williams-Chima. Cinda Williams-Chima is also one of my favorite YA novelists. I have been reading her books for so long. I actually brought all of them to YALLFest one year and had her sign all of my books. And when she saw them, she was like, looks like we've been friends for a long time. And I was like, yep. So all of her books are down here. I don't think you can see them, but when she is publishing something new, I pick it up. This book is set after Ragnarok has occurred, and the Midlands, aka just like regular Earth, it has become a very dangerous place. We follow 3 main characters. One is Eric. He, at the beginning of the book, is accused of murdering his mom and his stepfather, so that's not good. His sister, Liv, we also follow, and she's being accused of having magic, which is a negative thing in this world. We also follow a character named Regin, and she is able to do magic. I'm not sure if she lives in the Midlands or not, but these 3 characters, I guess, all have their own journeys and then kind of converge and all meet up at some point in the book. We'll see. I picked up the leather-bound editions of Shadows of Self and the Alloy of Law, which are both by Brandon Sanderson. I've been collecting the leather-bound editions as they come out. I think I have all of them. I'm not 100% on that, but these will be prominently displayed with all of the other ones. If you guys don't know, the Alloy of Law and Shadows of Self are both set in the Mistborn world. They're books 4 and 5. They can be read before Mistborn, but I don't recommend it because there are elements of the original trilogy, Mistborn, The Well of Ascension, and The Hero of Ages, that have major influences in this second series set in the same world. I've been really enjoying them, so I picked them up. Still in that same vein, I picked up The Lost Metal by Brandon Sanderson. This is the 4th and final book in this subset within this world. I don't even know if that makes sense. This series follows mainly 2 characters, Wax and Wayne. They're best friends, and they are in the Flintlock era of this world. That means that there is magic and also like guns and stuff. I'm just gonna continue along. Still enjoying this one. I also picked up Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yaros. Apparently this is incredibly popular on TikTok right now. I had no idea. I'm not on BookTok, but it is. This is a new adult school military academy setting with dragons. I thought it sounded interesting, and I thought it was really pretty when I saw it online, so I picked it up. But apparently it's not the greatest. But with that expectation in mind, now when I'm going in, I'm not going to be expecting very much from this at all. All I want is a fun time, dragons in a school setting. We'll see if that's what I get. But yeah, I wanted it because I thought it was pretty, so I picked it up. This one follows a character named Violet at the beginning of the story. Her mother basically forces her to go the dragon route, or at least try to go that way. There have been less and less dragons being willing to connect with cadets. I guess it's a very coveted position if you're able to actually be bound to a dragon. Again, I'm not expecting a whole lot, but I'll let you guys know. Next up, I participated in the Kickstarter for the 4 secret novels that Brandon Sanderson is releasing this year. I don't even remember how far back that was, but the first box came and I haven't opened it yet because I haven't been physically reading a whole lot. I've been more so listening to audiobooks, but my reading speed has actually picked up more recently. So hopefully, you know, stuff like this doesn't go to waste. It says, a story doesn't live until it is imagined in someone's mind. Wit, who's a big character in the Cosmere. If you guys don't know, somehow, Brandon Sanderson writes the majority of his adult fantasies set in the same universe, and so there are certain characters that will go from series to series, and one of those characters is a character named Wit. He pops up in every single series, at least. I don't know if he's in every book, but yeah, big nerd stuff. And there is a sticker that has the, what is his imprint called? Dragon Steel. That's the symbol for it. There's also a pin. I got number 1, which is Vin. She is in Mistborn, actually. She's the main character of that first trilogy. Also in there was a bookmark. I'm not sure who that is. There's also a sticker. I've already seen the cover of the first secret novel because I saw it online. I spoiled myself. There's also this larger bookmark. On the back it says World Hopper. Oh yeah, okay, and on the back it has different constellations, and these are the different worlds that his adult fantasy series take place on. For instance, Scadrial, I believe, is where Mistborn is. I know Roshar is where the Stormlight Archives takes place. I think Cell is where Elantris takes place, but I'm not 100% on that. It's been a little while. And the book in here is Tress of the Emerald Isle by Brandon Sanderson. I have no idea what this is about. I am a big Brandon Sanderson fan. Obviously, if I bought 4 books without knowing anything about them from somebody, I have faith that I'm going to really enjoy this one. I actually also saw the book cover for the second secret novel, so I've also spoiled myself for that one. That one has not come yet, and that was everything that was in the box. Again, I will let you guys know what I think when I get to this. More special editions. I picked up the faux leather-bound edition of Nolan by Michael J. Sullivan. I'm a really big Michael J. Sullivan fan. I've really enjoyed everything that I've read by him, like literally everything I've read by him. And so I wanted to pick up the gorgeous copies of this series, which is the 4th series set in this world. I'm pretty sure I cannot pick this up until I finish the 3rd series. What is the name of that? The first one is called Age of Myth, and then it's like Age of Swords, Age of Legends, Age of something, Age of something, Age of something. And this one I think is set, or should be read after that. Not 100% on that. I also picked up Fairlane, which is the second book in that series. Again, it is really, really pretty, so I wanted it. I got it. Pause up, buddy. Pause up. There he is. Can you see him? No. When I get our bedroom fully set up, maybe I'll do videos in there as well because I know people enjoy seeing Nook in the background. Next up is Bradley's Dragon. I've been really into dragons recently by Patrick Matthews. I read a book by Patrick Matthews, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago? Does that sound right? I think 10 years ago. It's up there. It's called Dragon Run. And I thought this was the sequel to that. It is not. This is a totally unrelated book. But this one follows a character named Bradley. There he is. I believe he picks up a library book or something like that and sees a dragon in it, and then weird stuff starts to happen at Liberty Middle School, and he finds out that the world is a much more magical place than he originally thought. This sounds like it's a low fantasy middle grade. I'll let you guys know what I think when I read it. Also, dragons, middle grade. I picked up the next book I needed in the Wings of Fire series by Tweety Sutherland. This is book 15? 15. If you guys didn't know, the Wings of Fire series is a series that follows dragons. Every book is told in a different dragon's perspective, and the first 5 books are a series. The next 5 books are a series, so this is going to be the last book of this series, of the overall series, if that makes sense. I've been really enjoying meeting all these new different types of dragons in this 3rd series because the first 2 are set on a singular continent. This one brings in dragons from a different continent and has different problems, and I'm really enjoying it. So looking forward to seeing how this one ends. And I think there's already a 16th book out, so I know it continues after this. And the last book in this haul, I'm losing my voice because I haven't spoken this much in months, is Winners by Fredrik Backman. If you guys didn't know, I'm a huge Fredrik Backman fan as well. I've read, I think, almost everything by him and done reviews for everything that I've read. This is the 3rd book in the Beartown series. I don't think it has like any specific name. In the first book, you're following this town, a bunch of people in this town that is slowly dying. And by that I mean businesses are going out of business, people are moving away, people are not coming to the town. So the population is dwindling and things are kind of going into disrepair, and they have put all of the town's hopes on this one specific hockey team. You follow all these people as the stress and the different parts of people's lives are pulling at them. There's also a sexual assault that happens in the first book that causes issues. People don't treat it appropriately, and I love that first book. It is one of my favorite books of all time. I am really anxious about reading this one because I'm terrified of what is going to happen to the characters in this, because I know one of my favorite characters is gonna die, and I don't know if it's actually gonna be in this book or not. I'm anxious, but I'm really excited. This is a pretty long book too, so I'm really excited to spend time with the characters, but I'm also very nervous for them. If you've already read it, let me know if I'm gonna be devastated. No, don't tell me. Don't tell me anything about it. I take that back. Don't tell me. So those are all the books that I picked up since the last time I did a book haul. Well, hopefully all of them. I feel like I've misplaced books during this move, so if I find more, they'll be in the next haul. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up and comment down below which books I should be prioritizing, which books have you read and enjoyed or didn't enjoy. Anything else you want me to know, leave it down below, and I will talk to you guys next time.